But I am tired of the same people, of the same things. I want to escape now to another place now, but with you, 'cause I don't want to be alone. Tell me if you want to follow me now, to follow me. Take me to your arms and never leave me. Don't leave me, boy. Tell me if you want to follow me now, to follow me. Take me to your arms and never leave me. Don't leave me, boy.
Are you told away even about your guy? Are you told away even about your guy? Are you told away even about your guy? Are you told away even about your Are you told away even about your guy? Are you told away even about your guy? Are you told away even about your Are you told away even about your guy?
We used to be solid, not falling apart. Things never not okay when you were mine. You used to be honest, not pulling my heartstrings. Every other day you change your mind. lecture, thought I was enough. Yeah, feels like half a century ago. Guess you keep coming back after telling me off, without even feeling sorry between goodbye and hello again. Thought we could grow again, how about no again, again and again. I'm trying to tell you we can't be friends, struggling to comprehend that we broke up and ended again and again and again. And I'm getting busier and busier, so disorientated. First you want me, then you're busy, girl, it's not that complicated. Got me tied up in a leash and round and round and round, round. You got me running in a circle. I'm just trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? I'm in a circle. Back where I started, I'm stuck here like glue. You keep me on a loop. I'm just trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? I'm in a circle. Back where I started, I'm stuck here like glue. You keep me on a loop. Yeah, when you're high, you call me like a movie. Some kind of little toy for you to wind up when you're lying in bed and feeling lonely. I'm tired of being deployed, like all I am to you is a pet. You think you own me? I'm nothing but a boy for you to wind up when you wanna pretend to get to know me. You got me running in a circle. I'm just trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? I'm in a circle. Back where I started, I'm stuck here like glue. You keep me on a loop. I'm just trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? I'm in a circle. Back where I started, I'm stuck here like glue. You keep me on loop.
'Cause you wanna doctor my wounds. I suppose you will never regret it. I should throw myself off from the roof. 'Cause you fucking love it when I feel it. 'Cause you wanna doctor my wounds. I suppose you will never regret it. I should throw myself off from the roof. 'Cause you fucking love it when I feel it.
Is live.
Welcome, everybody, to the Apollo Racing Club IndyCar Series. It is time for the 7th iteration of the Indy 250 here from ARC. Once again, Keegan, Scott, James, and Adam Thompson bringing you all of the action from Indianapolis Motor Speedway today, the new iteration of the track that was just released onto iRacing a couple of weeks ago. We are ready for some fantastic lapping around a very historic track. How are you guys doing today?
I am great, Keegan. Of course, glad we're finally here. We're pretty much almost at the midway point of the season. I mean, this is round 6 already.
Yeah, we're at the point where it's like time. It's crunch time at this point, you know. People cannot wait around for this. We already find ourselves in qualifying, by the way. So all of you out there know, it's 4 it's 4 clean laps you need, and it's the average of 4 laps. Oh my goodness! I'm actually already watching someone else in my screen. Will Weisberg is gonna crash out of qualifying before he even leaves the pits.
Looks like he's going to get it back going. I mean, what's nice is technically did not do a lap, so
Yeah.
better to happen on the out lap than the on the actual lap itself for Will.
Yeah, you can see they're all just trying to maximize their exit from the pits for that first lap.
Nick
But yeah, they're
Jude
definitely using the mulligans.
Nick Jude already out on his first hot lap here. It'll be very interesting to see what kind of times guys are doing. We're not using the updated scan of Indy.
I know, my bad.
So-
I thought it was. I got excited.
So
And you scan so much nicer.
we're seeing Nick Jude coming through turns 3 and 4 now.
It's Jadu, by the way. But
It's
it
Jadu.
is-
Okay.
Yeah, because he hasn't raced much at all with us for at least this season and a lot of last season, because he's currently forced to play on a Microsoft Surface. So you can imagine that with his super low FOV, he has issues.
Mm-hmm. So lap 1 complete for Nick Jadu. Charles Bertram's on a hot lap. Charles Bertram is somebody that we saw last week can be very competitive. Did not win last week, but he's here again tonight. I mean, this is somebody we could probably see on pole position on an oval.
Always possible. I mean, Charles is very consistent in the races. He always generally finishes top 5. He was in the championship hunt right to the end last season. So we'll see what he can do tonight. It's just, I think the key tonight is just going to be patience, because it's a lot of laps to get through, and you just need to be there at the end.
Like I said to everyone a little bit ago, to reiterate, this is exactly like the Indy 500, the real life Indy 500 qualifying. It is the average of 4 laps. So you need to put in 4 completely clean laps, and you can't touch the wall, can't get a 0x, anything like that. And it takes the average time out of all 4. So these guys are going out for some long runs, and the ones who aren't prepared for this layout might be a little bit surprised when they don't have exactly what they wanted from their qualifying.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, it's going to be somewhat tough here. We can see here Craig Bray, 19.8 in Sector 1. Sector 2 is 19.9. So...
And those times are falling off quite a bit from his first couple laps.
yeah, so you can tell the tires just not going to be as good on these last few laps here. And no, Craig Bray just loses the rear and smacks it into the wall, and that's going to ruin his qualifying here. If you ruin your qualifying, you're in the back. Brody Gardner, current championship leader, he's going to lose the rear, and he loses control of the car, smacks the wall. So that ruins that.
My goodness.
Chip Michaels is coming back out as we see Brock Whiteman finally post a time of 39.441. And now Cody Barrett's going to go just 0.6 quicker. Now we're seeing a lot of guys coming through now. Frank Chica, excuse me.
Franchica, yes.
Gotta get
Latin
used to
name.
yeah. He's now in
Shady Madison's first. I think this is his first oval with us as well. He started last week in Spa, but I think this is his first oval as Eric Leary stopped on track.
I believe so. And for his first oval, putting up a 39.9 across 4 laps, that's pretty freaking good.
Mm-hmm. Peyton Schofield hasn't put up a time yet, but as we saw last week in Spa, how competitive Peyton Schofield really was through Spa. I'm kind of excited to see how well he does on the ovals. We haven't seen him, I don't think, on an oval this season.
So, gents, keys to the race today. What are you thinking?
Survive.
Yep, patience in the early laps, especially like first lap and after the restarts. You can get into the wall very easily on cold tires. You just need to put yourself in a position after the final stop to be in the hunt for the win. So we'll see how these drivers handle the first half of the race when they just need to try and put themselves in that position for that battle at the end.
In my mind, I'm also thinking two things. One, fuel mileage is going to be a big thing here. If you can stretch a tank, it's not quite as much of a payoff as the Indy 500, but even in the Indy 250, being able to stretch a tank as far as you can go can still cut a stop off. It is long enough that that amount of fuel saving does matter. But the other one is after a restart, make it through the first 5 laps. You are only worried about survival. Because in that dirty air, it gets hard to keep that car pointed the correct direction. So you need to survive those first 5 laps until the cars start to stretch out, until your tires start to warm up, and you are able to keep that car pointed forward. If you can't do that, then you need to stay out of the slipstream of people unless you're on the straights.
You see Brandon Welch take pole with a 39.477. Shady Mon only a 10th off of that, so Peyton Schofield wrapping up his laps here. Him and Chip Michaels currently the only 2 left out there on track. So everybody else is not going to qualify.
Yeah, lots of people having issues. I know we saw Andrew Surwick, who is our oval alien. Oh, there goes Peyton Schofield right around. That's unfortunate. But even Andrew Surwick, who is our oval alien, he actually dumped it during his qualifying session, so he will have to start from the back. It's looking distinctly like we're going to have definitely less than 10 people actually put in a qualifying stint, if I had to guess. And given how slippery this setup looks, and as a reminder to everybody, this is a fixed setup. Given how slippery this looks, it looks like it's going to be a heck of a time.
Mm-hmm. You can, right now, Peyton Schofield's the only person out there. His qualifying run is now over. There's no way he would have gotten away with not getting an incident there. So
multiple times.
So only 5 people qualifying here, as we said, as Keegan mentioned earlier. But this is definitely going to be a race of attrition. I think a lot of guys, it's going to be just getting through the cautions. I mean, we're expecting cautions here tonight for sure.
So guys, there's going to be a lot of us sitting here and shooting the shit, huh?
Yeah.
I hope these guys can keep it clean, but ARC's record at Indianapolis is not particularly glamorous. So I'm hoping these guys are able to keep it pointed the right way.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a look at the lineup officially here. Brandon Welch on the pole. He'll start on the front row here with Shady Ahmad in P2 and P3. Frankie Franchica, followed by Cody Barrett, and rounding out the top 5, Brock Whiteman.
P6, Brody Gardner. That's the start of our guys who did not manage to put in a lap, and they are sorted out by current standings, I believe. Yes, by current points. Well, not quite, actually. I think they're sorted by number order. I'm not entirely sure, honestly. But we have Brody Gardner in P6, Woody Mahan, P7, Eric Oliva, P8, Tanner Long, P9, and Will Weisbrod rounds out the top 10.
Jack Hitchcock's in 11th, and then 12th is Thornton Thomas. And then, I don't know, I haven't got anything after that.
I got you from there. Colin Kinzer, P13. Andrew Surwick, P14. Freddie Martinez, P15. Peyton Schofield, P16. Craig Bray, P17. Nick Jadu, P18. Alex Rose, P19. And Austin Armstrong rounds out the top 20.
In 21st, Chip Michaels. In 22nd, DeAndre Young. In 23rd, RJ Conley. And in 24th, Charles Bertram. And rounding out tonight's grid is Mark Harrison in that 25th position. So it's time to go racing here. We got our pace lap going. It's going to be very interesting. Interesting to see.
I was going to say the league. the league admins have actually instilled a couple extra rules for this race as well, pertaining to the restarts. So look for these guys to be a bit more conservative with those.
Yeah, some harsh penalties could be handed down after this race if people get a bit too frisky at the start.
Brandon Welsh will soon have control of the field as they round through turn number 4. Pace car will drop in here this lap, I think. I think it's only one time around.
Yes, it is.
So
Yep,
here,
pace car will be coming in this time. The field in the waiting hands of Brandon Welch. It is on his command now. The start of season 7 Indy 250 is underway here from Apollo Racing Club IndyCar Series. So far, nobody going crazy. Not a lot of torque in these IR18s as we've seen in other previous Indy cars. 3 wide into turn number 1. That's going to make it difficult to keep traction, but they all managed to stay pointed the right way for now. We stay green through 1 and 2.
a little bit of contact happening out in front with P4 and 5. Brody Gardner, he's actually going to be the lucky man out of that as he moves up into the podium position here. You saw Cody Barrett. He was trying to make some moves, tried to push just a little bit too much there and got caught up in a 3-wide situation. But now Brandon Welsh, still your race leader here as they come down the front stretch to complete lap number 1.
1 lap under green. Holy crap. I was not expecting that. I was expecting to have a caution by turn 1. Miracles do happen, James.
Miracles do happen indeed, and Brandon Welsh got a great start there, great jump on Shady Ahmed. Brody Gardner will probably want to get round. Oh, we have a caution.
Oh no, there it is.
Don't know what's happened here, but
looks like Austin Armstrong has had an off. Unfortunately, I don't know when it exactly happened.
Ooh. I went back and looked at it on my screen. He just chipped the wall, and I think that made someone behind them. Yeah, I think they made someone behind them actually kind of go off as well. So, quite a few issues. Yeah.
Yeah. DeAndre Young currently with nose damage, it looks like. RJ Conley looks like, oh, yep, half his wing is missing. Mark Harrison get involved in that. He's a lap down. Looks like he was fine. I mean, I don't think these guys are a lap down, but for some reason my timing's showing me a lap down for those drivers. DeAndre Young having some heavy damage there.
yeah, it looks like he's got the worst of it. So it's hard to know who's actually. I think Charles, RJ Conley, Austin Armstrong, and obviously I think he was in the pits, and it's.
I guess we'll start calling it the curse of lap 2 at this point, because it seems like these drivers were super conservative on lap 1, and they were able to just kind of, ride it out. They were like, okay, I don't want to be too ballsy about my moves. But then on lap 2, they kind of started to feel a bit more confident.
So though it's like the patience of this track is immense. I mean, the balls come at you so quickly, which seems like what happened with Austin there. So you need about 3 or 4 laps before you can really feel confident that the car's gonna perform how you expect.
A much deeper entry too into turns 1 and 3 is required than what you'd see on other ovals with these cars, simply because of that short shoot. That's what makes those walls come up so quickly on you, is that you're not expecting there to be a wall there with normal ovals.
Yeah, exactly. Because the corners square off, it just compromises your exit. And like I say, if you get slightly offline with your entrance, it really can compromise your exit so much that you just slide and you're gonna hit the wall. It's that kind of track. It's a very precise track. You really have to work this oval. It's all about precision, lap after lap. So 100 lap race is going to test a lot of these drivers.
Looking
Gonna
at
test us too, right, Adam?
yeah, it's gonna be a test for us here in the booth, but I just want to point out a couple things in terms of gains of position on that opening lap. Alex Rose up 4 positions up to P15. Andrew Serwick's already up 3 positions into P11. Brody Gardner 3 positions in the final podium spot in 3rd. So some guys already making some pretty big gains within the first lap. So it wouldn't be surprising if we see a little bit more shuffle in the field, especially if we continue cautions.
One person I'd have your eye on, particularly out there in the audience, is Will Weisberg. He is a very aggressive driver, but he knows what he's doing with these Indy cars. Frequenter of the Schaefer's IndyCar Series, RAL, as well as an IRL IndyCar engineer. So he really likes these cars, and he knows how to wheel them around Indianapolis.
It's going to be, well, if you can keep it clean, he's definitely going to be someone who's going to be there at the end, I would imagine. So definitely one to watch out for today. So it's just, again, like him, Andrew, they need to slowly work their way through the field. That's another thing we haven't really discussed. It is very hard to make a pass at Indianapolis. It's not like a lot of other ovals where you can have your 2 lines. A lot of the corners, it's one line and then the other person has to give. So it's going to be about maybe using pit strategy later on to try and shuffle up to the front. But, you know, it's still early days and we'll see how it plays out. But there's a lot of things that these drivers need to think about as the race goes on to make sure they're there at the end, and that's the key. You just need to be there. After that final stop, if you're in the top 5, you'll fancy your chances for a win today.
Tire maintenance is going to be another key too. These tires degrade pretty hard here, as the banking in Indianapolis, not particularly high, but you're still going flat through those corners. So those tires scrub off really quickly. Getting towards the end of a run, you're liable to find that wall even faster.
We saw in qualifying
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Adam.
In qualifying, we're seeing a lot of guys, they were losing the rear of the car. So probably just over driving in the corners, just not even the rear just not keeping the grip. But you also got to wonder how these guys are handling, especially adjusting a weight jacker throughout the race, because you're going to see, guys like Andrew Serwick, and especially any person who's fast on over, they're going to be messing with that weight jacker and the ARBs front and rear to definitely get that grip back. But here we go, back to green flag racing. Brandon Welsh takes off away in the lead. Everybody single file here.
So far, no one rear-ending anyone else quite yet. Yellow's not in the air, but we are still green into turn number 1. Brody Gardner going to make an early move, try to get Shady Ahmad out of the way, and I believe they did switch positions there. So Brody Gardner moving up into P2, our current points leader.
Brody Gardner wants to score big right now as he is the current championship points leader. He took the points lead last week in Spa, so he is the competition here to beat tonight, I think, for Andrew Serwick if he wants to be within contention. I mean, the weeks are getting ticked off here, and this is a big, big race.
Fun fact here, folks. No one in ARC has taken the Indy 250 twice. Everybody who has won an Indy 250 has won it once. Mm-hmm. So quite a few people in this field are actually looking for their second Indy 250 win.
Of course, last season's winner, Cricket Sushi.
I don't believe he's actually in this, is he?
No, not tonight.
No, so he will not be able to defend his title.
Nope.
He is probably running scared in the UK at the moment. But
aren't you running scared in the UK?
Well, yeah, we've lost the Queen and we've got a crazy king. You just don't know what's going to happen now. We don't like change.
Fun facts, with weddings in the royal family, there are no grooms. It is only groomed.
Oh my god.
That was a really awful joke.
It really was. And...
Yep. So back to the race here.
There is a race going on.
We have a race here as Brody Gardner 3/10 off of Brandon Welch. Brandon Welch has been very strong here at Apollo Racing Club. Won in Long Beach, got 4th place at Gateway, 13th though at Road American, 13th at Pocono. So we haven't seen a good, some good consistency out of him. Maybe tonight he has turned that around, especially starting on the pole.
Well, these top two, towards the end of the season, and we are getting towards the end of the season, this could be a race for the win, honestly. Brandon Welch and Brody Gardner. This could be the top two that we see racing in a couple weeks for that championship spot. The other one in that top 3 mix, Andrew Surowick, a bit further back down the field, and he's actually lost a spot since we went back green. So, might not be his night here.
Yeah, just have to wonder though. Maybe he's running a different strategy idea already with going back to the fuel saving. He might have decided he's so far in the pack, get an extra lap or 2 early, and it might pay off at lap, later on in the race. So there's a lot of strategies going on. But the front two seem to be running away a bit from Shady Ahmad, who's holding off everyone else. So I think Brody Gardner and Brandon Welch definitely the early pace setters here. So we're working our way around lap 10.
Well, so far so good. Andrew Surowick, currently P12. Somebody we got to keep our eye on tonight because he is somebody who can drive through the field, especially at Indianapolis. I mean, he's been looking for that second win, but you can see here he's lifting off through turn 1. So the dirty air and these tires must be getting just a little bit more difficult to drive now.
There might be another reason too. I mentioned at the very beginning, fuel saving can be a big factor here if you play it right. There might be a reason why he hasn't tried to plow through the field too much, and that might be because he's perfectly happy sitting where he is, waiting for the race to progress a little bit more and waiting for it to come to him. Because he's not only saving his tires, he is saving fuel.
Well, he's right on the rear end here of Tanner Long. Here they come down the front stretch, down into turn number 1. We're riding on board here with Andrew Surowick. And oh no, there's a collision!
No!
Yellow.
Oh no, and that's going to put Andrew Surowick in the wall. Tanner Long just...
people.
Oh no.
No.
Several people involved in that one.
Let's take a look here.
Unfortunate.
Take a look here. Tanner Long just washes up the track and just goes right into Andrew Surowick. He keeps going, and Alex Rose just comes in as well and just smacks him pretty hard there. So, oh no.
Goodness.
That was...
Incredible unfortunate. I believe it actually started from whoever was in front of Andrew and Tanner, because Tanner, I think, had to check up for the guy in front, and that also, if you stab the brake, it pushes you wide. So Andrew was just unfortunately in the wrong place, wrong time, I feel, on that one.
Oh yeah, wrong.
Making his way around, so he probably won't lose a lap here if he can get back to the pits.
Well, you can see
but
he's
not what he needs.
And you can see that car is extremely messed up. Luckily, 2 fast repairs for everybody, so he'll just come into the pits, get a repair done, but he'll start from the back.
He's got to avoid losing a lap here though, because he might.
If he get
The leaders are right behind him as it stands.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, he's probably going to lose a lot then. I mean, if you turn off your fuel and tires, it takes about 2.5 seconds, I think, the fast repair to kick in.
Even still, he's got to get into pit lane, got to get down pit lane. It's going to be slow.
Oh, yeah.
Pace car's coming off of 4 right now. Yeah, he's absolutely going to lose a lap here. There's no way he actually manages to keep it. So he might as well take fuel and tires while he's at it.
Yep. A lot of people actually coming into the pits. Brody Gardner comes into pit lane, so he must be thinking, I could definitely extend a little bit farther before the next pit cycle.
Less people actually went into the pits than I expected. We've got Brandon, Shady and Ahmed, Frankie Franchica, Cody Barrett, Brock Whiteman, Thornton Thomas, Peyton Schofield and Colin Kisner have all stayed out. Broden Gardner is probably the leader of the people who've pitted now. But again, this is you take the pain now, because now Brody's having to start back in P9 or P10, but it might pay off later on if you don't have to take a pit stop in the final stint. So you kind of have to you roll your dice early and then hope it pays off at the end. There'll be a few people who've rolled here, hoping get a nice long green flag run, and it might help him chip off a pit stop at the end.
Well, Andrew Surowick, I don't think is a lap down here.
I think he is. But another important thing to note is that
He is.
guess who else took a pit stop? Brody Gardner. Brody Gardner also took a pit stop. So he's going to sacrifice the second place track position to pick up an extra tank of, or to pick up a couple of tires and a bit of fuel. So they might be playing a different strategy here because the fuel tank can last roughly 25 or so laps here. Or sorry, roughly 30 or so laps. So they might be pitting now so they don't have to short stint later.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'd imagine a lot of those people are thinking now. It's sort of that caution came at the right time where you might be able to get away now with two more stops, while the people who haven't pitted might have to do 3, and they're gonna go back towards the back after. So like Brody Gardner's technically the leader of the people who've pitted. So
Yes.
he might shuffle to the front if we get another caution in 5 or 6 laps. But you should know Will Weisberg is now second in line for that, and he's going to give Brody a good test today. So these two will probably vying in that pack, trying to stay out of trouble and also maybe try and get the lead because they know that they're probably going to end up as the leaders at some point here if we get another 5-10 lap run and they stay out. So they're battling for the lead. They're battling for a theoretical lead, while Brandon and obviously Shady Ahmad are breaking for the current lead.
Just got confirmation, by the way, from Race Control. Andrew Surwick is, in fact, our first car 1 lap down.
All right.
It's going to be a long way back for him this afternoon, or this evening.
I mean, Andrew might be lucky enough, though, where he could get in front of this pack here and maybe get that lap back. Of course, IndyCar rules, in order to get to your lap back, if you're a lap down under caution, is that you have to be right behind the safety car. And he could potentially do that. I mean, he's probably the only person I've actually seen in this league get that lucky that lucky caution and gets that lap back.
Well, if you're referring to a couple weeks ago at Pocono, he still wasn't able to get lucky. There were 2 wrecks while he was out in front of the leader, and neither one brought out a caution. So he might be the luckiest unlucky person I've ever seen. Whoa, checking up there. Lots of cars checking up hard. Ooh.
Green flag, green flag.
That could have been bad, but we are back to green here as they were getting ready for the restart. Brody Gardner jumps out of line a bit further back. He's looking for a pass early on. Brandon Welch, though, up at the front, gets a big jump out onto the field. Shady Ahmad trying to catch his coattails, but he's losing grip of them pretty quickly.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Caution is out again.
Oh, no, not again here.
Was it Andrew again? I think I just saw him spinning.
Let me take a look here. Oh, and Andrew, it looks like Mahan goes ahead and has a spin, which causes the caution.
Old tires, turn 1.
Oh,
I think he
Eric
pitted,
Lever.
actually. I think Woody Mahan pitted, but yeah, cold tires. Oh, man.
It looks like Eric Lever and Woody Mahan were the 2 that were caught up there. So now we'll see if any of the ones who didn't pit the last time actually take the pit now, even though it's only been half a corner. I can't imagine many of them will, because there is literally no advantage at this point other than putting yourself behind the people who pitted the last time.
Yeah, I mean, Nah, yeah, I was trying to think. Well, maybe, but no. Honestly, they just got to try and stretch their fuel now.
Yeah, he needed 5 or 10 laps for it to start being even viable. But so I assume that maybe people at the back might take tires, just because you're at the back, so you're not losing anything. But for a lot of people, oh, we might have some action here. People going in.
Oh, couple people.
That's more than expected.
Brandon Welch still gonna stay out though, so our leader retains the lead. It looks like Shady Ahmad and Peyton Schofield, as well as Brock Whiteman, they're all gonna take dips into the pit lane.
So an update for everybody, just to add a little bit of more interesting things that are going to happen in this race. Someone set the server to unlimited fast repairs.
Oh man.
And so now they're trying to figure out, now they're going to give the drivers 3 strikes. So it's kind of an honor system type of thing. So we'll have to keep an eye out on who's going into the pits with damage for sure.
I'd just be like, shh, nobody tell him. Nobody tell him. Shh.
It's like, as long as you don't have much visible damage, you could probably get away with it, But
Yeah.
it's certainly another twist to this race.
But Andrew's back there going, come on, I want to get up to the front. Give me a lap back. Come on. He's screaming at them.
Yeah. Just like, go in the
Can you
pits.
imagine?
Go in the pits. It's unfortunate, though, when half the grid pits in your lap down and half the grid pits in front of you and the other half just sits there. That is the most frustrating thing, I think, as a lap car, especially on this track. I've been one of those people that's been a lap down, and I have never been lucky enough to get to the safety, get right behind the safety car to get that lap back. So,
Yeah.
One advantage is one is wrecked early, and two, this is one of the few tracks where you're gonna have to have 2 or 3 stops, which gives you a lot more bites to that cherry. And 3 cars moved out his way on this last stop. And imagine if we get 5 or 6 laps in, it'll happen again. But Brody and Will are now right behind him, and he needs to keep those 2 behind him, definitely, because they're more likely to stay out, while everyone in front of him, they're going to have to come in soon. They've probably only got like 10, 12 laps, maybe 15, before they realistically need to pit.
Looks like the lights are out on the pace car. So we are going to be going back to green the next time by. Field in the hands of Brandon Welch once again. And gents, just so y'all know, I made a deal with Andrew earlier that if there were more than 5 cautions, there would be extra consequences from me. So let's all hope that that doesn't happen.
well,
Gotta
he
get
did.
one more lap round.
He did crash, and James and I were telling him earlier that if he gets into any sort of crash, we're gonna embarrass him. And he asked, "What if it's not my fault?" They're like, "You're still gonna get criticized. We're still gonna make fun of you."
Mad cause bad.
He just, as in his own words, he ran out of talent. Honestly. on that caution. I mean, it was unfortunate that I think some guys just got held up Tanner Long washing up the track.
Can you run out of something you never had?
Wow.
Joking, Andrew.
Jeez.
Joking, by the way. he crashed.
Oh my.
I'm gonna flame it.
You crash, I'm gonna flame it.
Joking, Andrew. Joking. But we are getting ready to go back to green here. Field in the hands of Brandon Welch. Gonna get ready to take off here whenever he deems it necessary. Waiting, backs the field up. Go, go, go! He actually gets a big jump there. Backs the field up pretty hard. That might cause issues further back in the pack. I haven't seen anybody go yet. But they all do stay straight, at least for the beginning of this lap.
It was a bit of a cleaner restart than the last one. There was no checking up further in the field. And oh no, we had an accident in turn 1 again.
Oh no!
I think it was...
That's number 4.
I believe it was Peyton and possibly the Christopher Green's car. I can't remember who drives it. Jack. Wait, no. Alex Rose. Sorry.
Alex Rose?
Yeah, it was
Yep.
Alex Rose. I don't know if it was a single car spin in turn one again or if other people were involved, but it's unfortunate. That's two turn ones in a row where people have unfortunately
Oh, man.
sent it round.
I went back and watched the replay myself. It looks like Alex Rose just waited too long to turn into turn number 1 and tried to turn real hard at the last moment and just hooked it. Car could just not take the amount of G's he was trying to make it do.
It's unfortunate. After a good start as well, it's got a bit scrappy now. But now we're still waiting to see if Andrew will finally get his lap back. Are the front 5 or 6 going to finally pit and probably release him?
We might see Brandon Welch pit here. We are getting close to that point. There's no reason not to now, because you are definitely two stopper from here. No, he's gonna stay out.
I just wonder if with that, I mean, I know we had that one green run, but are the cautions sort of making it so you can maybe extend it to get to over lap 40? And if you get to over lap 40, you definitely can do it for 2 stops from there. Or maybe you just don't want to put yourself back in the pack. That's another thing. Cause he's going to have to pit eventually, but does he want to end up behind basically the whole field or near the whole field, and then he could end up getting caught up in turn 1 with someone? You know, it's a difficult situation he's put himself in, I guess, and I guess all the other front people have, because they will need to stop, but do they want to then end up deep in the pack? These are the decisions these people have to make, and then they live and die by them. Unfortunately, sometimes you live, and other times, unfortunately, you're gonna die. So it's interesting to see how the strategies are playing out because of these cautions. It is sort of pushing everyone into an easy 2-stop window from here.
Well, folks, before we go back to green, let us talk to you folks about one of our fine sponsors for tonight. It's Driver 61. Did you all know that the premier driving school on the European continent has entered the sim racing market? That's right. They are now online, driver61.com, and you can get lessons in your favorite sim. Racing, obviously, being the best sim out there, is the one that's preferred for everybody. But they will give you all of the lessons you want for a very low price, and that low price can get even lower with our discount code ARC Driver 61. That is Alpha Romeo Charlie Driver 61. On their shop, you get 20% off if you use our code, and they know that we sent you over there. So go over there, use some of those lessons. I'm sure a bunch of these guys racing here could use some of those lessons. I could definitely use some of those lessons, to be honest. And yeah, it's actually a really good time. Their insight is very nice to have.
You know, one of the big things, especially if you can get some form of coaching, you can learn quite a bit. Just even in a telemetry session, you can really learn a lot about driving and racing in particular, and what how to really look at telemetry and how to make adjustments to yourself and how you drive. So definitely go check out Driver 61. Plus, they're a good resource if you want to read about tracks and how to race certain tracks.
All right. Well, I believe we are going back to green the next time by. So, how many laps do you think? How many laps do you guys think we're gonna make it?
If we can get 10 laps here, 10, 20 laps, let's make this thing go green for a little bit, because we definitely want to see a good finish here. We want to see these guys racing hard. Of course, with Brandon Welch getting these great restarts here, he might just run away with this.
Yeah, just see if we can get at least one lap in this time. I mean, hopefully after the last couple of restarts, people will calm down a bit and try and just get into a rhythm.
I feel like we're doing. Feel like you're doing the cha-cha shuffle. One lap this time. One lap this time. Crisscross spins. All right. Well, we're getting back to green. In the hands of Brandon Welch is the field, and he's going to get a good jump. Not going to catch Frankie Franchica by surprise this time. No, he is catching up with him and keeping up with him as everyone is bulleting off into turn number 1. So far up in the front of the field, everyone gets through clean. Brandon Welch doing a real good job of keeping that lead, but a little bit further back there, Brody Gardner fighting his way back through.
Yeah, Brandon broke the toe there, but then Frankie never took it, so very, very bizarre that Frankie didn't take this slipstream. But we have made it through Lap 1 by looks of it, of this restart. I may have cursed that, but...
You might as well have cursed that one. As you can see, Thornton Thomas up into P4 now. And you have MLG in that mix. He's trying to race up through the field after his earlier mix-up with Tanner Long. When they come down the back stretch, these guys are vying for position, but Brody Gardner already up in the P7.
Yeah,
Someone else cutting up. I was just going to mention Will James, someone else cutting up through the field. Will, I said he'd be aggressive, and he was a bit too aggressive that time.
Oh, my word.
Oh, no, going to collect our points leader as well in that one. Brody Gardner going to get a hit of that one. He collects a few people.
Wow, we cursed so hard there. A lot of good cars taken out.
Looks like he just cut down onto Colin Kinzer.
Oh, and oh my lord, who was all that? Will, Brody, Tanner Long mixed up in that. He has some damage.
No, Brody, Tanner, DeAndre Young as well. Several people.
I think it was Cody Barrett who was flipping there.
Yeah, I think that was Cody Barrett.
No, sorry, it wasn't. He's in third.
No,
he's
a
miracle recovery.
It was Tanner Long who flipped.
Tanner. His car's kind of similar.
All right,
We should mandate a rule. No cars can be too similar.
So that maybe be his second quick repair, maybe.
So yeah, it's involved in that crash. Will Weisberg, Tanner Long, Brody Gardner, DeAndre Young, and Tanner Long. Oh, Tanner is running a Bitcoin livery. I didn't see that. It's Sir Tanner Bitcoin. I always called him Sir Tanner Bitcoin, and he's still Sir Tanner Bitcoin. Good to see. To the moon. Will sent him to the moon.
You have to reach the moon any way possible.
Now introducing the Will Weisbrod space program, expecting to reach the moon in T-minus now.
A lot of guys pitting here.
Andrew's surely going to get his lap back now.
Is he up front?
I think everyone's pitted who was in front of him, so...
Nope, not quite. He has a couple people still in front of him.
Oh, my word.
Top three, Brandon, Frankie, and Thornton, all of them are up in front. Oh, no.
Please. He was on a prayer right there if Brandon Welch was going to pit for sure, because that definitely would have brought Franchica and Thornton Thomas in as well. So, but some guys did pit. Of course, Brody Gardner with the damage. He will be falling back. I think he did not lose a lap there.
I think Will Weisbrod also managed to not lose a lap. I think most of the guys involved in that were able to keep their laps. Tanner Long, I think, did. He managed to get right side up before anything too bad happened. DeAndre Young was already a lap down. He's now 2 laps down. So yeah, looks like most of the people involved in that crash were able to retain their laps. Maybe Brody Gardner lost one though.
Something to point out here, Chip Michaels up 17 spots, RJ Conley up 5 spots so far. And I don't think they have pitted yet. Let's take a look at their pit stops.
If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say probably not. Being up that far. I know we've had a lot of cautions, but geez, guys.
Chip Michaels has already stopped once.
Oh.
Look at the 3 haven't stopped now. I can only assume they aren't going to stop until at least lap 40 or try and get to lap 40 at this point. That could be the only reason they would stay out this long.
Yeah. That's caution number 5, by the way, for everyone watching.
But it wasn't within 20 laps, so we'll take the small wins there. And we did have that one run.
I mean, we were getting a good run, I thought, there for a little bit. Everybody was staying calm.
I'd like to see 20 laps of green flag racing.
That'd be great. I mean,
I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this end due to time again.
Yeah, nope, that happened a couple of seasons ago. I was
season
in that
5.
race.
That was my first season casting ARC, and my goodness,
that is as bad as finishing under safety car. Just saying, when you run out of time.
Yeah, that was a marathon of a race. I remember winning it. That's all I remember from that. That was our first ALC win as well. Actually, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever won an ALC. I never won an ALC race that didn't end under caution.
Well, tell you what, if they wreck again, I'm racing next week, so I'll just win at Belle Isle for you. How does that sound?
That sounds a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
I will dedicate the win to you.
Please do. The washed-up driver is now sat in the commentary booth. He needs all the props.
Here we go. Green flag is flying high, and Brandon Welsh gets another great restart. Just drags away from Frankie Franchica. Thornton Thomas, though, he is right on the heels of Frankie here. They come through turns 1 and 2. You can see Andrew Serwick. He's trying just to push his way through. If he can get in front of Brandon Welsh, he might be that first man in front of right behind the pace car and get that lap back finally. Here they come down the backstretch now. Everybody keeping it clean.
They're quite strung out already, which is probably going to be helpful to keep it clean for a while. But they're going 3 wide at the back there.
Oh my goodness, that's not a good thing at all.
It looks like they got through, so I assume they all sorted itself out. But yeah, it's not what 3 wide at Indy is not what you want. That's one thing you guarantee. Maybe
can confirm there is not enough room on that banking for 3 wide.
No.
Looking through here again, Brandon Welsh still out there in front. Thornton Thomas still pressing the issue, trying to get that P2. But Franchica is definitely holding strong here as we are about to start lap number 31 here.
Oh man, maybe these guys are going to make me eat my words and they're not going to wreck.
Knocking on wood. Thank you. Just knocking on some wood here because you never know what happens here at Indy as we now see Colin Kinzer battling hard here with Woody Mahan. And this is...
I believe that's for P10.
Yep, for P10. Colin Kinzer has surprised me so far this race. I thought he would have started a lot higher. I thought he was going to complete that his qualifying, but did not. And he hasn't been able to move very far up the order here.
Well, Colin is extremely strong on road courses, but on ovals he tends to struggle. So if he I thought he was going to be significantly more in the running for the championship than he has been so far this season. At least that's what I was expecting based on his performance from last season. So I was hoping for a bit better performance, but like I said, don't expect him to do too much on the ovals and kind of just do damage mitigation. It seems like we don't have a ton of guys in this league who are really good at both. They have their areas of expertise, but quite frankly, that makes this championship interesting.
Yeah, definitely. He's had a lot of problems with the roadways. He's been at the front, but unfortunately been caught up in incidents. So yeah, he is more of a road course specialist than oval. So he does need to maximise his road races. It's like going back to when David McCourt used to race. He was almost unbeatable on road, and that's how you would win championships. He'd dominate the road races and then mitigate the damage, like you say, on his ovals. But
One of the things about how the point system works, especially for IndyCar, is that it gives so much benefit to people who are consistently in the top 5 and consistently do well every race. And honestly, it just comes down to being consistent every single race, finishing strong, finishing well, and you could be looking at a potential championship win.
definitely. Also, because we have the 2 drop races, you kind of need to try and minimize. You can maybe get 2 bad races, but then you have to make sure you make all 12. Otherwise, you lose in that aspect. So there's a lot of different areas in play when it comes to the championship. But like I say, it does make it interesting the fact that we do have a great mix on who's good on the road and who's good on the oval. So it does keep it tight to the end. If one person was really dominant at both, then it'd be pretty much unbeatable. We're working lap 35 now, and everyone's strung out nicely. And one thing to note is Brody Gardner, who was definitely up there on pace at the start, is struggling to make any hay through this field since his incident. Him and Tanner are both stuck now. Whether they're actually trying a different strategy.
Nothing wrong with being patient back there. But a bit further up in the field than that, though, Eric Oliva and Will Weisberg are cutting in and out of each other. And now Will Weisberg actually catching the back of Jack Hedgecox, who might be involuntarily becoming part of this battle. Eric Oliva is going to get past Will before turn 1. Will going to suck up on the inside. That's a real deep entry into 1, and he's forced to back off.
It's back to what we were saying. It is very difficult to pass at Indy once the cars do get strung out and the tyres get a bit of wear on him. But Will probably want to try and get back near the front. So it's interesting to see what strategies these people are playing, especially, like I said, Tanner, Rodney, they are being patient, but like I said, maybe they are thinking long term and trying to get a stretch of fuel mileage out in this stint.
MLG, Andrew Serwick, still hasn't been able to make up the ground here as he was probably hoping here, especially already have a pit stop under his belt. He's just riding along here with Thornton Thomas. He hasn't really made an attempt to make a move here since we went back racing.
Can we see the pit stops for the top 3? I don't think any of them have pitted yet.
Nope, none of them have.
Yeah, they've definitely managed to stretch their fuel out with all these cautions.
Yeah. Like I said, imagine if we stay green for the next 3 or 4 laps, that's when they'll start coming in. Lap 40, I think you get about 30 laps out of the tank, so lap 40, then you 2 stops from the end, or 1 more stop from the end.
Well, here's the thing. Of these 40 laps, we've probably run 25 of them, at least, under caution. So they may even have more than 40.
True. I imagine they'll push it to the limit just to, avoid possibly losing a lap. Although I think you can pit under green here without actually losing a lap, so...
You can indeed. It is a long enough track.
Yeah, it's one of the few benefits of Indy. You're not going to get caught out with a green stop and then a yellow flag coming out a lap later, which is a bit of a bane of a few tracks that we run in the oval slide.
I'm watching from my perspective as well. A few of these guys starting to have issues keeping the tires pointed. where they want to go. Some people sliding out, having issues catching themselves before they hit the wall in the short chute. We might start to see a couple guys get squirrely here, especially if they're in dirty air like Brock Whiteman is right now. Backs off wisely. Not going to try and dive into that one. Touched the wall a little bit, but he's all right. Brandon Welch also in the pit lane. Top 3 starting to make their pits.
So he's sort of the trigger man now for these front 3. So now Andrew's going to probably be leading and hoping he'll get a caution in the next few laps. Then he'll get his lap back, and then he'll be back in this race, hopefully, towards the end. I was actually surprised Brandon went in lap 39, because I thought he would have stretched it a bit more just to give him that buffer at the end, if it is kind of tight on the old one more stop strategy, but he'll have the advantage now also running clean air, so he can really put some laps down. And probably get a nice little undercut on Frankie.
Oh, we got a crash.
Oh,
Oh my.
Oh my goodness. That's Austin Armstrong involved there. What happened here? He is crunched.
and it was all running so smoothly. Did he hit the
Oh, he
wall?
just
Exit
hits
of
the
4.
wall.
Yep.
Oh.
Barely misses everybody else.
Some good rotation there as well. The judges will be scoring that one highly.
Well, if you're Brandon Welsh, you did not want that caution right there.
Actually, you might be more happy with it than you think. Frankie and Thornton, they're now pitting under caution and going to the back.
I'd imagine everyone will pit except for Brandon at this point, because everyone now will be able to definitely make it on one more stop. Pitting on lap 42. Or then maybe some will want the track position, so they might push up early. Or not pit. I imagine I'm thinking more like Will and Brody. You know, just get back to the front and then pit later, and hopefully by then everyone will have to pit again anyway, so you sort of get back on the cycle. Everyone
Well, that's
else.
6 cautions, gents. You're gonna have to watch me on track next week.
All right.
I mean, you do realise you can't actually cause any cautions on road courses. Oh wait, no.
I can
You can try.
watch me. It's also
Also, it's a street course, so yes, there could be
Yeah.
cautions next week.
Yeah, there could be cautions next week. For those of you who don't know, the admins do reserve the right to throw manual cautions on road courses because of the fact that there is a chance of having a full course closure, as in no one can pass by at all. So when that happens, there is a full course yellow.
We saw that happen in Long Beach this year on the opening lap, actually. Turn 1, just absolute carnage. The safety car did come out, so now we're seeing Frankie, Franchica, and Thornton Thomas make their first pit stop here. Andrew Serlich, he's happy about this caution because he is going to be behind that safety car, or excuse me, the pace car, and he's going to get his lap back.
He's plenty happy about that one. A few other takers on pit lane as well. Looks like Jack Hedgecox, Eric Oliva, Woody Mahan, all of them on pit road, getting those fresh tires and full of fuel. You said it yourself, James. One stop to the end from here.
Yep, they've said everyone who's pitted now will definitely be able to make it to one more stop. Everyone else, a few more cautions, and they might be able to push it into that. I think, like I said, the ones that like RJ, Peyton, Brock, Charles, Will, Tanner, and Brody are all gonna just have to hope that we have quite a long stint now, so everyone will have to pit or feel the need to pit at the next caution if we do get another caution. But that's again, the strategies in play during this race have been fantastic. It's just so many variables going on, and again, like I said at the start, you just need to be there at the end. And people are now trying to strategize a way to be there at the end. And we'll see if Andrew can get back into this race now. He's gonna have the wave around, then he'll have to hope for another quick caution, and he doesn't get caught up in that, which, knowing his luck, he'll probably end up doing that now. And then he can get back in this race. You know, so there's a lot of different things in play here.
Well, he's on old tires. Watch him crash coming out of 2 on the wave around lap as he's accelerating to get back to the field. If that actually happens, he is going to find me and literally slap me.
You're actually we're playing with some dangerous waters here by potentially commentating cursing. Andrew Surwick here.
Well, that's the fun of the commentator's curse. and it's Andrew. You know, you have to do it.
Have to do
Well,
it.
Andrew
All right.
Surwick,
Yeah.
he is officially going to get his lap back now, past the pace car.
I mean, what did I say? I said he was going to be lucky enough to get behind the pace car and get his lap back. And he was lucky. Question is, will green flag pit stops happen here? We had a great run on that last go.
There'll be some people who are hoping it wouldn't happen, and then some will definitely want it at this stage. So we'll see how.
I'm watching
Everyone-
Andrew right now on my view. He's coming out of 1, and I'm just hoping and praying that he doesn't just bin it out of 2 or something.
Yeah, we believe in
Okay,
it.
there we go.
When we're
I was
watching, we're watching.
I was gonna
so
say
intently.
if he actually bins it coming back around to the field, I would have been like, "Gents, it was nice working with you. I'm gonna go enjoy my band."
You were looking out the exit there, weren't you? You were. Oh man. Well,
I could
RJ
see
Conley.
Andrew holding the door for me down the hallway.
RJ
Conley's
Conley will lead.
That's what? No stops. 44 laps in. I know we've had a lot of caution flag laps here, but what in the world?
Feels like
Still in the hands of RJ Conley.
he's waiting to go. He's waiting to go, and here we go.
Oh
Back to
no! No!
Oh, big wreck on the front stretch.
Yeah.
Oh no, we are still green.
Flag is out.
There it
No,
is.
never mind.
There we go.
The safety
Andrew
car,
threw
the pace car hadn't even made it down pit lane yet. It's literally serving a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, there was a lot of checking up in the back of the field, and well, that's what happens unfortunately sometimes with Indy.
Oh
Wow.
no!
Is that Woody Mahan, Cody Barrett? Wow. A lot of car. Oh, it was at the end there. Just we thought he'd skate past, and then someone got turned into him.
Yikes.
Did Andrew make it through? That's the question. After
Yes,
I tried to curse him.
Andrew did in fact make it through.
Oh no!
I think part of that was that RJ Conley kind of went a little bit and then didn't go. Like he accelerated past the 5 miles an hour that we normally say for restart speed, then brought it back down to pace car speed, and then accelerated again, and that just backed the entire field up. Concertina effect.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that I don't think RJ's ever really led an IndyCar restart on an oval in ALC, so I was interested to see how he handled it. And we saw the results, unfortunately, further back in the field. So I guess a few people got a bit too hot on the old throttle too early. As we were working lap 46 on caution number 7, I believe.
Yeah, this is caution number 7.
Yeah. But it gives Andrew a free pit stop.
Yeah, he'll be happy about
exactly
that.
what he wanted.
And a number of free positions, too.
Yeah, everything's going up Andrew here on lap 46.
If he comes back and wins this, I'm going to be so angry.
I will literally heat my microphone and headset in anger.
But look at this.
And headset.
Peyton Schofield, RJ Conley, Thornton Thomas into the pits. Cody Barrett, Frankie Franchica, who is involved. in that last incident. Shady Ahmad.
Basically, 3/4 of the field currently in the pit lane.
And same with Andrew. Andrew goes pit here.
He was going to need to eventually, though, because this gives him completely fresh tires and full of fuel so that he is once again on a one stop to the end, potentially even on a no stop to the end if we keep getting those restarts.
Well, unfortunate there for Thornton Thomas. He missed his pit box, and Andrew Surowick was able to pass him in the pit lane, so he moves up another spot in the pits. He's having quite the day here.
I think that's going to put him up to P15, if I had to guess. No, P16. Okay.
Yeah, looks like Woody Mahan was able to get around in time.
Can confirm Woody Mahan is on the lead lap.
Yeah, I think everyone involved in that accident actually managed to stay on the lead
Nick
lap?
Jadu was not able to stay on the lead lap. Now 2 laps down.
It's a long way back from there, unfortunately for Nick. So we'll see what happens with the next couple of cautions or the next few stops. But after all the carnage, now Brock Whiteman is our leader, with Charles Bertrand in second and Will third. So Will's back at the front. You'd imagine he'd fancy a chance at the win here. Tanner Long, Brody Gardner fourth and fifth. So we've got the people who we've thought might win earlier on back at the front now, and they're all literally probably one stop from the end. So
Did Frank
all gonna
Chica get a drive-through? No, he's coming into the pits.
No, Frankie Francica does in fact have a black flag, so he did in fact get a penalty. Stop and go looked like.
Okay. So he will come back out behind the pack.
And he'll have to go back in once we go back to green. So
Yep, he's gonna have to come back in because that penalty has to be served under green.
I think he was also. I don't know if he was caught up in the accident at the start, but he was turning around in turn one. I noticed when the caution flew. So whether he had an incident or just looped it himself, but either way, he's not going to lose the lap. Luckily here with this penalty, but it basically puts him in a very hard situation to get back from there.
Will Weisberg is currently up in the P3.
After being involved in that earlier crash, he is still managing to hold it together. Well, we are getting ready to go back to the green flag. Brock Whiteman leading the field. A perennial contender here at ARC. Waiting. Gonna make sure the field gets all backed up, and off he goes. Doesn't get a full big jump, but he is able to get a decent jump over P2, and that is Charles Bertrand. I believe we have unfortunately lost.
Oh, we got a caution.
I can still see the race. There is in fact a caution before we even get out of turn number 2. Unfortunately, I believe James also has still lost the feed, so we're going to wait to get that back. But I can tell you assuredly that there was in fact a caution. Not entirely sure who was involved, though. Well, feed is still down, but we have a couple of issues back in the field as well. All of these stops and starts are causing some issues in terms of unintended black flags. as iRacing is unfortunately not that great at recognizing when a driver is avoiding a crash and will still black flag them for passing on the inside before the start-finish line. So unfortunate, but those will have to be cleared, and they were cleared. Frankie and Woody Mahan having black flags cleared for that exact purpose. All right, put me back live real quick.
We're good.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break here to deal with something on the back end having issues, try and get it troubleshot for you, but you will still continue to watch these amazing drivers racing around this beautiful oval, this historic oval as well. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen, but we are back here. Brock Whiteman still in the race lead, one stop. Charles Bertram in P2. Will Weisberg currently in P3.
And we are getting ready to go back to green this time around as well. Top three, you said it yourself. Brock Whiteman, Charles Bertrand, and Will Weisberg. But Brock Whiteman will have control of the field. Just behind them, Tanner Long and our points leader, Brody Gardner. That rounds out the top five. You didn't miss much over the course of the break. They have still been eye-pacing, and we are getting ready to go back to iRacing now in the hands of our leader, Brock Whiteman. Green, green, green here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Look at Will. He's going already side by side here with Charles Bertram. Down into turn number one they go. Charles Bertram, Will trying to hold that inside.
Never mind.
Massive wreck.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Oh,
That was just Will's car getting a little bit squirrely. Drifted up just a little bit too far into Charles Bertrand, and that is how those two cookies both crumble.
you know, they say never go side by side, especially through the turns. I mean, it is. You have to, if you're going to hold it on the outside there, you are going to be absolutely brave because, you know, these cars are known to wash up, especially if the tires are a little bit worn. So, doesn't surprise me there to see that happen.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate product again of cold tires and worn tires. It's just that's the thing. It's such a slight the correction by Will there was so slight, but it was all it needed just to take him into Charles's side pod. And it's unfortunately again we're under caution, but that helps Brody and Tanner now P2 and P3.
Actually helps Charles Bertrand a lot too. He'd managed to get through that without taking any damage.
It's amazing if he's managed that.
Oh my goodness, he just barely touched the wall with his left side. I just went back and watched the replay from my perspective. He just barely touched the inside wall with his left side and survived it nicely. No damage or anything. Thank you, new damage model.
That's crazy that he's got away with that. It might come into pit though if he fails to something.
He's P6 at the moment, so he did lose a few positions, but
Yeah, he has pitted, so
yep.
better safe than sorry, I guess.
Well, guys, we're halfway through this race, and we have seen.
Holy crap, we're only halfway through.
Yeah, we're past the halfway point at this. We're full into this now. We still have 1 hour and 4 minutes to go before this race would be called.
I'd like to think we can get the 50 laps in.
We have less than an hour.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we have less than an hour.
54 minutes. No. Yeah, 54, I think.
Well, last season we managed to finish this due to laps, not due to time. So I'm hoping we are able to do the same thing this season.
I think in future we should just make it a timed race and just cut out the middleman.
You mean the middleman of all of the cautions?
Yes. Actually, yeah, we should just turn cautions off and just make it a free for all.
Yeah, just disable full course cautions, turn off fast repairs at all, and have fun with it.
Yep, Carmageddon. What a classic game that was.
Oh my god, Carmageddon was fun.
It was so much
You know what
fun.
you know what series I always loved though? Flat Out.
Yes.
By the
about-
makers of Wreckfest.
Yeah, and
Yep.
that's like the spiritual successor to Destruction Derby, which was my PlayStation game of choice.
Yeah.
Oh, those are the days.
So Brody Gardner, nope, he decides not.
Oh
to
my
pit.
goodness, he almost wrecked himself getting out of the pit there. I could have sworn he was past the commit line too, but you know what? We'll take it.
He
He's
waited
playing
till the
fast
very
and
last.
loose.
So what are we thinking here? Who's gonna cross the finish line first here at the is this season 6, season 7 annual Indy 250?
Season 7. I'm gonna say Andrew Surwick.
James?
I still think Brandon Welsh is definitely potentially a winner.
Actually, you know what? Let's throw all logic to the wind and let's just say Colin Kinzer.
I was actually gonna say I'm putting my money on Colin Kinzer right now. He is in P6 currently. He has, of course, I don't get to see the pit stops again due to the technical difficulty, but I think he already has stopped twice.
I think he's one of those cars that we're in the window for one more stop. Although with how many cautions we're getting, everyone might be able to just run to the end if it keeps like this.
God, a one-stop Indy 250. That's completely absurd.
I would have said RJ Conley could have done that, but I think he's had an incident along the way because he's
He
4 laps down
is
now.
he is disconnected, in fact.
Okay, but he'd only stopped once, and that was 47 laps. So it's possible as we're about to get ready to go back for green. See how long we get this time. Brock Lightman leading the field from 10 along. Brody Gardner, who again is going to be in the contention for the win, you'll feel.
Oh yeah. I feel as though the entire top 10 is in the conversation for the win, but field hands of Brock Whiteman. He's waiting a bit longer than usual, and he takes off. Brody Gardner.
Green flag.
Oh, and Tanner Long getting a little bit squirrely there on the restart, but they are able to keep it together. Brody Gardner is going to look down on the inside of Tanner Long going into turn number 1. Manages to secure it into the short chute before turn 2. Will there be a response from Tanner Long? No, he gives it to Brody Gardner, and that's going to be Brody Gardner up into the 2nd position.
So Brody's putting himself now in that position to attack Brock Whiteman and then try and lead this race and see if he can get that win of the Indy 250. But further back, Mark Harrison got a bad start, and that's sort of given a gap for these front 3. With Brandon Welsh now leading that.
Oh, that's sketchy. Oh, it was almost 3 wide there, too.
I think the gloves are off for some of these drivers. But I think Andrew will be very aggressive at this stage, just trying to get back to the front.
Oh, we got a crash.
That is the most absurd net code of all net code.
Unfortunate.
So I actually watched that happen. Mark Harrison disappeared, reappeared inside of the car of Andrew Serwick, spinning.
I've actually had that happen to not actually happened to me before. It was quite scary, if I'm honest. Just a car appearing out of nowhere and spinning like wild.
Talk about getting peekabooed.
But I think when that sort of thing happens, if you're not the car that's net coded, you don't actually generally get damage from that. So Andrew's probably all right in terms of like his car, as he's also
taking a look at his car. It does look okay.
Yeah, it's online racing. Sometimes these things happen with net code, and obviously iRacing is always famous for its net code spins and dramas.
You know what? I'm going to go off on a rant here, okay? Everyone always says, oh, the netcode in iRacing is so awful. Show me another simulator where the netcode is actually so good that you can race against someone on the other side of the world and not notice any issues 90% of the time. Everyone always remembers the 2 times they got horrible netcode issues, but they never appreciate the times where the netcode works perfectly, exactly as expected, and they can be basically right up against each other, and iRacing doesn't predict a touch. I just want to thank iRacing for putting such good effort and making such a good product out of that netcode and giving us the best multiplayer experience in sim racing. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I agree with you there. I mean, I've tried to get into ACC in the summer, and the netcode or the servers were just disconnecting me all the time on that. So,
what servers? It's all private hosted.
Well, it was just a league I was trying to race, and it never worked. I just always get disconnected like 40 minutes into a race. So,
hey, I just want to point out something here.
I can't bash ACC all that much because we're on the ARC channel and they have an ACC league, which is fantastic, by the way. But I am not personally the biggest fan. Anyway, you were saying, Adam?
So there was a battle there down pit road with Brody Gardner and Brock Whiteman. They both came into the pit lane at the same time. And unfortunately for Brock Whiteman, Brody Gardner able to get the jump in the pit stops and get in front of him. So Brody Gardner might be looking at a race win here.
Yeah, in theory, he's the net leader now, but again, if these cautions keep going, I don't think the people in front will need to pit. Again, if RJ could get 47 laps out of a tank.
Well, here's the thing: if the if the cautions keep going as they are, Brody Gardner definitely does not have to pit again.
That's true. I mean, it could come, and the thing is, you have to factor in the time. I mean, I remember with the year I won, I was factoring in the time as we got later and later into the race. I think if we hadn't had that final caution, we would have finished like the 100 laps. But again, it's another thing that you're gonna have to play into your calculations with your fuel and everything. Because if you know you can make like 98 laps, are we gonna get to lap 98 if things keep going on? It's another factor into this crazy race that is the RC Indy 250, and it never disappoints in terms of creating drama and probably giving us surprise winners. It's not generally the one-way usual oval.
So here's something interesting. This race has been going on for 66 minutes. Or sorry, an hour and 14 minutes, I guess. 74 minutes. And we've only completed 61 laps. That's about 1 minute and 15 seconds per lap. At that rate, we will end due to time. I just calculated it out. 40 laps left, including the one that we're currently on. And it's taking 75 minutes for 60 laps. It's 1 minute 15 per lap. Yeah. We would end... So we would end at that rate. 100 laps would be at 2 minutes and... Or sorry, 2 hours and 3 minutes.
Yeah, so right on the edge.
We are right on the edge. So these guys better get their act together. Otherwise, this is going to be a repeat of season 5.
We don't want that, okay? All right. I think the people watching at home have had enough, especially if they watched the Italian Grand Prix, having that race finishing under safety car.
Oh God!
So we definitely don't need that to happen here tonight at
the safety
ARC.
car finish is. The safety car finish is definitely not the most scandalous thing to happen from that weekend. Did you see all of the crowd issues that they had over the weekend?
Oh yeah, it looked bad. It did
we'll,
not look
we'll
like
dig
a good time.
deeper. We'll dig deeper into that on our next caution, which I'm sure there's going to be at least one, because this caution is getting ready to come to an end, and we are getting ready to go back to green here. As the lights are out on the pace car, it will be peeling off. Field in the hands of Tanner Long. It will bring us back to the restart. Holding on that field, making them wait a minute. They want to go, but Tanner Long is going to be the one to go. Green here at IMS.
Brody Gardner had to make an evasive maneuver there in the back.
Yeah, these late, if the guy at the front's starting late, it's always caused issues at the back. People get a bit too antsy rather than watching the guy ahead in terms of like when to go. But we've actually made it through turn 2.
Well, Brock Whiteman, he's already gotten past Brody Gardner, and now Thornton Thomas knocking at the door here as they come through 3 and 4.
Yeah, it's a big move by Brock there, because in theory puts him in the net lead if the people in front do need to pit again. So we've made it through the first lap of this latest green flag run. Brock Whiteman now working on
That's
Charles.
Nick Jadu, who is a lap down.
Alright, okay. Let's see if Nick just gets out of the way of these people. I think Thornton was very close to the wall there at 1.
I think he actually hit it. I'm hearing the audio on my side, and I think he hit it.
So it's getting a bit frantic at the back there again. It's, at the front, Tanner Long's got 3/10 on Brandon at the moment. Peyton Schofield and Andrew Serwick 3rd and 4th. So Andrew Serwick's now working his way up to the front, as we expected. So he's back in contention for this win. So made it through the second lap of our latest green flag run. So this is going well, Keegan. I feel we could finally get a decent run here.
I'm certainly hoping. I hear the wood knocking. I'm going to join you there.
Yeah, I was like, you better have a wooden desk there to knock on your desk, because it is. You never know what can happen here, especially as we are now less than 40 laps to go. here at the Indy 250. 40 laps. Oh my. Okay.
Glad you had the same thought I did. Andrew Serwick just put up the fastest lap of the race, though, 40.785. He is on the move.
He is cooking here. He is wanting this race win. He wants to win his second Indy 250 here at Apollo Racing Club. I think this victory would be sweeter than probably winning a championship at this point for him. So he is pushing it to the limit.
Not to jinx him, the same thing happened last year before he wrecked again.
We don't talk about last year, okay? Last year was just an utter disaster, okay? I was crashed out in turn 1. I just, we don't talk about last year, so what he may have, he is making his way up the grid as well. He's currently P6. Somebody we thought could potentially win, I think, tonight. I think he had a good shot so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely not out of it. He's not quite as fast as these top 5, but attrition seems to be the biggest factor here tonight.
Yeah, a lot of people have very up and down evenings, so, you know, he had his spin earlier, but he's worked his way back up to 6th, so he'll be pretty happy with that recovery.
I would be avoiding Will Weisberg behind him like the plague at the moment, because he is just seeming to attract all of the incidents tonight. He's been involved in 2.
They're side by side through turns 1 and 2 here. They both make it out safely.
Yeah, Will's now in the Andrew role. If he just needs to try and get to the front, hope the people in front do need to pit again, and then get back on the lead lap, and hopefully this time not crash in turn 1.
Yeah.
Very well.
Tanner Long in the pit lane.
Wow, so does that mean a lot of these people at the front might need to pit again soon? Or is it just roll the dice early to get out of the way and have a full stint, and it might pay off later?
I wouldn't be rolling the dice quite this early. I would be rolling the dice probably once you get to lap 75, if I had to guess. Because if it goes green to then, there's a decent chance it might go green the rest of the way, and then everyone's going to have to pit. But I still wouldn't be taking that chance now.
Colin Kinser moving up into 10th. Thornton Thomas loses not 1, but 2 positions.
I thought he was running at the front earlier, but he's got back in the pack now, and he seems to be being swallowed up by a few of these cars. But again, going back to the whole fuel strategy, are people now playing the game of, if they think that it's going to go the whole 40 laps, are they trying to eke it out? So there'll be a few people probably who are on the edge. I can't remember when a lot of the back people pitted. But, you know, it seems like about 8 cautions ago, but, you know.
Oh my goodness, please don't curse us like that.
I've been doing quite well with the curses tonight.
We had 5 before lap 25 tonight.
But again, that was not, it was later than lap 20, so you have to take the win. And then we don't talk about anything between lap 25 and lap 50.
Only if. Well, Brendan Welsh is your race leader, followed by Peyton Schofield and Andrew Serwick. Andrew Serwick is on a push here. He's 6/10 behind Peyton Schofield, getting that slipstream just a little bit. Not enough, but it probably is enough here for Andrew to really close that gap and potentially look at an overtake here probably in the next, I would say, 4 or 5 laps.
Oh yeah, he can sniff the win now. He's got the bit between the teeth, and he's just trying to make his way around Peyton, and then he can work up trying to get up to Brandon, who's got a nice little gap at the moment, so he'll be pretty happy just running his race.
Well, gents, the problem is when you start pushing this hard, you start making mistakes.
That's true. Again, it goes back to what we're saying. It's a very finesse track, and you just need to keep concentrating, hit those marks every lap, and then hopefully by the end of it you'll be declared the winner. But only one man can be declared that today, gentlemen, and Brandon, Peyton, and Andrew probably feel they are in the best position for that at this stage.
Colin Kinzer now catching up to Brock Whiteman. That just shows you the speed of Colin Kinzer so right now, because he is blistering through the field. He is, like I said, I would not count him out here. He is looking quick now, and I'm guessing some guys are really starting to struggle there, especially in the front with tires.
And especially in dirty air too. So this probably like 3 through 8, 3 through 10 area, probably starting to really struggle.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. It'd be all come down to who's managed the tyres slightly better. But again, dirty air and this track being pretty much, it's not like a track where you can move into clean air, because it's pretty much one groove through the corners. So you're always scrubbing that tyre off a bit more if you're behind someone, and there's not a lot you can do to avoid that, unfortunately. So it's going to come down to who can maximise their tool usage, whether it's the weight jackets or changing the ARBs. I mean, ideally, you probably want to try and avoid the weight jacket, because that won't help your tyre wear in the long run.
Not in the long run, but if you need to recover just a little bit of time or a little bit of grip, that's how you do it.
Oh, definitely. That's another thing. We are at the business end of this race, so you kind of can't hold back, but at the same time, you probably think, oh, I need to hold back. Especially people who may be thinking they can make it on fuel from here, and others who are just pushing to the end and hoping
We're about to start lap 75 here. I'm starting to think about we may not be able to make it on fuel, because these guys are fairly orderly at this point. They're not wrecking into each other. They're spread out. The chances of a caution have gone down drastically. But the problem is, as soon as people start pitting, the chances of a caution are going to go way up very quickly. So it's a catch-22 at this point. If you pit, if you start a cycle of pit stops, like let's say Brandon comes in for a pit stop, if he starts that cycle of pit stops, he knows dang well someone is going to wreck, because people wreck when pit stops happen. That's just how iRacing works. So darned if you do, darned if you don't, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and also the chance of caution go up as the tyres wear, as we've seen earlier. People push it a bit too hard, hit that wall, and it's going to be straight into the inside. So it's just a lot to think about. You got to like
Caution flag, there it is.
It looks like it's Eric.
Eric Oliva, yes.
Yeah, Eric Oliva, who at times I've definitely been running top 5, is done exactly what I said, hit the wall, straight to the inside.
He got bit by the short chute.
He got bit by the short chute and the commentator's curse. So a single car spins caused the latest incident. I'd imagine everyone will pit one final time, take the tyres, take whatever fuel they need. Eric
I'd imagine
the car around as well, so he's trying to. I don't think he's going to keep the lap now, but
I'd imagine literally everybody is going to be.
Oh my word! Oh my word! Yeah,
you can't make it.
You can't park there, sir. You can't park there.
My word! That could have changed the output of this race if he'd gone a bit further across. People weren't paying attention. Jeez.
You know who else got really lucky by that one? Tanner Long. He was actually. I was watching him he was about to get lapped by Brendan Welsh. So he got lucky.
Yeah, definitely. And he's one of the people who maybe will stay out, having just pitted. So he might cycle back to the front here if everyone takes the chance to get some tyres, get a bit of fuel, maybe a sandwich. It's a long race.
All right, let's see.
Everybody coming to pit lane.
Yep. Everybody except
there's a chance Will Weisberg. Okay, Will Weisberg's going to stay out, get his lap back.
Yep.
I wouldn't discount him from this race again now if he's going to get his lap back.
If you're Brody Gardner right now, you're pitting as well. Everybody coming in. Wow. So who's going to put that to the lead? It's going to put Frankie Franchica on.
It's
out
sorry,
there
it's
in the lead.
Tanner Long. He has stayed out. So,
Oh,
but now it's about the
Frankie-
race up everyone behind.
Frankie
so-
Franchica will obtain the race lead. It's going to be Tanner Long in second.
That's right. Okay, sorry about that. So that's interesting.
That chucks a wrench in this because there is still a chance that these guys might be able to go to the end. Frankie was one of the last guys to pit there around lap 60. There's still the chance that they are able to stretch this.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was actually wondering when he pitted. So lap 60 probably needs 6 laps. If he's taking like, he can get 34 out of a tank. But then if he is leading, he's gonna not be able to do any fuel saving on this stint if it does go to the end. So I'd say Tanner Long is still in the box seat. He's definitely going to be able to go to the end. But he probably wanted the clean air because he has got slightly older tyres.
Everybody who just pitted is good to go.
Definitely. I'd say the only question mark is Frankie. Even Tanner, I'd say, can go to the end. But he's
I'm
just
taking
fighting
a look inside Frankie's cockpit, and he is in mode 8, lifting and saving like crazy. He is trying to go to the end. He's trying to stretch this tank of gas.
Surprised they haven't even tried to take the service road to minimize how much distance he's covering.
You can't. You'll get black flagged.
Oh, there we go then. That explains that one.
Although if I were Frankie, I'd be right up behind Will in front of him. To be completely honest, I'd just be like, yep, just gonna sniff your fumes for a little bit to save some fuel.
Yeah, Will's probably yeah, there we go. Will's released. So, Will Weisberg back on the lead lap. I don't know when he last pitted before.
As long as he doesn't spin himself coming back around to the field.
You mentioned that for a lot of people on this wave round. Is it some PTSD event for you?
No comment.
no comment. He's pleading the fifth here.
I plead the turn 5. I mean the 5th.
I feel like this has happened on a road course too.
Oh, Will's actually coming into the pit lane as well. So he's going to try and get his pit stop in before the field comes around to catch him. And he's probably going to be able to do it, to be honest.
Yeah,
So this is one track you'd imagine he'd be able to.
He's not going to be able to catch the field, though, before they take the green. So he's going to be kind of hung out outside of the slipstream there.
Potentially, but think about how much extra speed he'll be carrying.
Yeah.
He might just catch up through sheer momentum. That's interesting.
This is going to be sketchy. He is exiting the pit now.
Yeah, he would be close.
And the pace car's coming out of 4. So, yeah, that's going to be close. He's going to be booking it.
Yeah, it'll be praying also that Frankie takes a long restart here to give him more time to get onto the bike.
Speaking of the restart, the pace car is in, and we are getting ready to go green. Frankie Franchica, first lead of his career here at ARC, has the field in his waiting hands, and he's going to get the jump, and the green flag is out again.
Take a look here.
3 wide. Away. Oh.
Nope. Oh no, we're gonna lose somebody.
Peyton Schofield, I think it's gone round.
Yep, there it is. Peyton Schofield.
Staying green.
Stay green.
Yeah, we are green. Yeah. He is on the apron.
It's unfortunate for him then. He's probably done his day and he's in P16.
There's the yellow flag. Thrown by race control, in fact.
Okay then, so that puts Will back in, at least into the pack. I believe he got pretty close to catching
Will
the
is
pack.
black flagged right now, actually.
Really?
I believe he may have pitted under closed pit conditions. Oh, never mind. Okay, I guess it was a mistake by iRacing because race control just cleared it.
That's interesting. I wonder what he got it for. Unless he had to. No. That's a weird one. It's a weird quirk of iRacing. We'll say that.
Might have pitted under close pit. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's what I'd imagine as well. But then he wouldn't clear that black flag. Surely. Oh, that's something to deal with after the race, I assume now. But Frankie's still leading with Tanner Long second, Brandon third. He got a very good start there, Frankie. He got a good jump. I think that's one thing I've noticed with every restart. The leader has got a very good jump.
Yeah. Assuming that I'm correct about when Frankie pitted lap 60, I think he can go to the end now.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. I think with this caution, Frankie is going to be able to last to the end. Question is, can his tires hang on to the pace behind him with Tanner Long and Brandon Welsh?
Tanner Long has similar wear on the tires to Frankie. Brandon, though, he's been super fast all day. His tires are fresh. It's going to be hard to fend him off.
I just also Woody Mahan currently up to P4. He's in front of Andrew Surowick.
Let's go.
That's and he was one of the guys who made a pit stop, so those tires are fresh as well. If he can hold on with Brandon Welsh here, I mean, he'll get dragged all the way to the front, and we're going to have a 4 or 5 car battle here for the win here with 18 laps to go.
Yeah, it's gonna. I can't imagine how frantic it's gonna be at the restart as the laps wind down. People are gonna have to make those moves early. You know, like I say, it's very hard to make a pass here once they get strung out. So people like Andrew, Woody. If you look at Cody Barrett in 6th, he's not out the running. But Shady and Ahmad, who started P2, and he's sort of been up and around there. So a lot of people probably think they can still win this, but the laps are winding down. So we'll see if there's any more twists in this tale.
You're Frankie right now.
We're not restarting this time by according to race control. They were thinking about shortening the caution, but we will not be restarting this time by. So we're going to be restarting at the beginning of lap 84. So we will have 17 laps. Oh no, they did shorten it after all. That's interesting. They shortened it on the front stretch. So we are going back to green this time. Field in the hand of Frankie Francica. A bit of a surprise. The field is not fully formed up yet at this point, but we are green anyway.
Green flag.
Frankie takes off from the lead here with Brandon Welsh in tow. Same with Tanner Long, Woody Mayhem, and Andrew Surowick. They're all fighting for the win here. As you can see, the gap between Andrew Surowick and Cody Barrett on that restart, that's quite a big gap, especially now that they're coming down the backstretch. But you can see Brody Gardner, he is pushing here like a bat out of hell, because he is currently now going up to P7. He wants to win this race and hold on to that championship lead, but he's got to be carefully side by side here. They come through turns 3 and 4 with Shady Ahmad. Shady Ahmad on the outside. They're going to hang it together. What great racing. Oh, that's somebody going way wide. And he saves it. I think that was Jack Hedgecox.
What a save by Jack.
That was incredible.
It was an incredible save, but I wonder if he's damaged his car too much now, because he really smacked that outside wall. But
ooh, something happened a bit further back. I think Nick Jadu had an incident.
Oh, we got a crash. Brody Gardner
crash in the backstretch.
Brody Gardner and Shady Ahmad coming together.
That's crazy. How did they manage that on the straight?
Let's take a look here at the replay.
Oh, it was a block.
Oh,
it was a block by Shady Ahmad.
I think the rest of the fit. Oh, Will, did Will get a piece of that?
I think he got a piece of it, but I don't know if Netcode agrees. No, Netcode does not say he got a piece of that. He is good.
Well, the rest of the field did a great job of avoiding all that then, but it's unfortunate for Shady and Brody. Brody definitely one of our pre-race favourites, has had a very disappointing day at times. 2 incidents put paid to his day.
Did Tanner
We'll get
Long
to
take the
restart.
lead? Tanner
Apparently he
Long.
has.
Yeah, Tanner Long is in the lead. He passed by Frankie Franchica at some point. I'm not sure where, but Tanner Long is indeed in the lead, and he's not black flagged, so that's legitimate. It was not under caution or anything. That's not a mistaken placement. No, Tanner Long is the leader of this race.
That is absolutely incredible.
And he'll be very happy with that. He's got Frankie behind him, who's on a lot older tyres than the rest of the field, so he'll be hoping he can hold off Andrew and the pack to give Tanner maybe a chance to escape and scamper up the road if we do get a clean run to the end from here.
Looks like Jack Hedgecock's coming into pit lane here. Probably has some damage after his save coming down the front straight, coming out of 4, just hits the wall and pretty much almost put himself in pit lane on the previous lap.
Yeah, honestly. That was
It really was an incredible save.
yeah.
An incredibly well-timed caution for him, because it now gives him at least another chance to try and gain some positions with a fixed car if he hasn't used his 3 strikes.
Confirmation from race control, they will not be shortening this caution flag. So we will not be going green this time by. It looks like we'll be going green at the start of lap 88. So it will be a 13-lap shootout to the end, assuming we are capable of staying green the whole time. Tanner Long can definitely go to the end, as can Frankie Franchica. Andrew Serwick right behind them. He has been the fastest overall car tonight. He has fresher tires, more fuel, doesn't have to worry about saving anything at all. So it's just going to be a shootout between can Tanner Long outrun Andrew Serwick, and is Frankie going to play the Spanish Minister of Defense?
Well, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Pace car lights are out. That means it's time to go back to green flag racing. Tanner Long from the race lead with Frankie Franchica and Andrew Serwick behind. Again, Andrew Serwick.
A big gap.
Yeah, it's a very big gap.
That's a concerning gap, in fact. That's going to cause problems on the restart. I'm calling it now. Frankie Franchica needs to close that up, but Tanner Long is just going to go green, green, green. Frankie Franchica left a huge gap there, and everyone's backing up behind him. That's going to give Tanner Long a 6/10 interval before we get to turn number 1. He has a lot of insulation here from Andrew Serwick behind. He's already knocking on the door of Frankie Franchica in front of him.
Yeah,
Andrew
Andrew
Serwick-
probably knows he needs to get that move done quickly. As they're now trying to break the toe down the back straight. But Andrew will probably think he can maybe get him off the 4 if he can set this up nicely.
You can see Andrew, he is really pushing the issue here. He is definitely not going to be happy with that restart because of the gap between him and between our race leader of Tanner Long and Frankie Franchica's gap there at the restart. So now you can see Andrew Serwick, he has blistering pace now. He's getting that slipstream here. They come through turns 1 and 2. He keeps peeking just a little bit to the outside. I think he's definitely trying to plan something as they come down the back stretch. But he's lost a little bit of time now, almost 0.4 of a second when they come down the back stretch.
Yeah, I think he was a bit too high into the turn and it compromised his exit there. But sort of now settling down a bit here. As, we're working lap 88. There's only 12 laps left, and people are trying to make as many moves as possible. So we'll see who comes out the big winner here as the race is reaching its climax. As Andrew now getting closer to Frankie. Is he going to try and make a move down the back straight? Keeps it nice and close through to the first turn. He's keeping it close to the second turn. But it's 2/10 down. I don't think he'll be able to get close enough. He just needs to try and clear him as fast as possible and try and get onto Tanner. But I'm not sure it's going to happen. this stage. Frankie seems to have it covered at the moment. If he can keep holding that bottom, it's very hard to pass here. But this might give him a slight chance. Frankie was a bit high in that turn, but Andrew just can't close the gap enough coming off the corners. At the moment, it's all got a bit static through the field.
Frankie is placing his car in the perfect spot in the corners. He's not going too deep so that he would lose run off, but he is staying just low enough that Andrew can get no look on the bottom. He's forcing him to have the worst of both worlds. Meanwhile, Frankie is getting the best of both worlds. I said it in jest at the beginning of this stint, but you know what? F1 has the Mexican Minister of Defense. I guess we have the Spanish Minister of Defense, Frankie Franchica. Kudos to you.
He did a fantastic job to put himself in this position late on with not taking the pit stop when everyone else went in. And he's paying off now as he's holding off Andrew quite handily at the moment. He's not. Tanner's loving it. He's got a second on the field now. So.
How about this man though, Woody Mahan? Woody Mahan having a fantastic night tonight. Currently in 5th, involved in a couple incidents, but has managed to recover. Great run from him tonight, no matter what he does. Meanwhile, up at the front, Tanner Long, a second gap back to Frankie Franchica in second place. He's out of slipstream range now, so if Tanner Long can just cruise to the end from here, he's good to go, and especially because we have 9 laps remaining in this race.
Well, a lot of things can happen in just a span of 9 laps. Andrew Serwick half a second behind Frankie Franchica, and he's not gaining time, but look who is. It's Brandon Welch, who is just, he's on a tear now. He's getting the pace. Those tires are getting warmed up again. We also have Woody Mahan back there. Woody Mahan can definitely be in a good spot here. You never know what can happen, though. We could see a big accident at the end of this one, as we've seen in years past.
Yeah, it's definitely, like I say, it's not over yet. Tanner's definitely putting himself in a great position. He's 1.5 seconds ahead now, almost to Frankie. But again, an incident could change this very quickly. You know, we'll get another restart, and all the work is done to get this gap at this moment is undone. But Andrew just doesn't seem to have any answers for Frankie now. He's stuck in that 3rd position.
Oh,
And
he gets
Frankie,
a little bit loose.
Oh. Again, that's
Oh.
what we're saying. Changes very quickly. That's 2 drop spots for Andrew. Maybe
3
3
now.
if Cody gets past.
Yeah, Cody Barrett gets past him too. That puts Woody Mahan, actually, we were talking about him earlier, close to a podium finish here. So he is just having a heck of a day.
Oh, definitely, very impressive day. He's kept it in the right positions, and it's paying off now as we're coming into the closing stages. We'll see if Brandon has any better luck with getting around Frankie. He's now closing into 2/10. He's been definitely one of our pace setters today, leading quite a significant portion of the race earlier on. Oh, as we're heading now lap 95.
2.3 seconds for Tanner Long over Brandon Welch, who has managed to get by Frankie.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
And we have a
Andrew's not even doing
caution.
Caution flag.
Will has crashed. Let's take a look.
That's Will's 3rd strike, I believe. So
Yep, his night is done.
that was Andrew.
Oh,
that
my
was
word.
it was Andrew that was flipping too. Both Andrew and Will involved in that crash.
Wow.
One more time. He's falling. Looks like Will is falling. Colin Kinzer just taps the wall and just goes flying into the inside barrier and flips himself. And that's going to be night over for Will. That is unfortunate.
And I believe we should get a 1-lap shootout at least.
I'm not sure. I'm hoping we do. I'm hoping this does not end under yellow.
I mean, might choose to shorten the caution because, you know, give people a chance to pit if they want it. But I hope we do get another restart because now we've got Tanner and Brandon. That's going to be fireworks at the end here after an hour and 48 of racing and pacing.
Can we confirm that that was Will's third fast repair?
That is, yes, Will's third fast repair.
So after this, he
I believe
will
that's
not have.
Andrew's second fast repair, actually. So Andrew second, Will third.
Can't imagine anyone taking a pit stop here because he's either not going to restart the race or you're not going to be able to make anything up. Although Andrew and Cody have come in, but they've got damaged cars, haven't they? So
Yeah.
that'd explain why they're in. I mean, how many strikes are Andrew and Cody on? Because Andrew's had a quite a day. He's been in a few.
Andrew
walks.
has had 2 incidents. Will just had his third. Maybe race control is going to let that slide, but considering how close we are to the end of the race, but we'll have to see. Either way, lights are not out on the pace car, which means at the very minimum, we are going to be restarting on lap 99, so it would be a 2-lap shootout to the end.
A shootout it will be. Who you got? That's the real question. Is it going to be Tanner, Brandon? Is Woody or Frankie going to end up with a win?
If we didn't have this caution, I would have said Tanner Long would have won this because he had almost a 3-second gap. However, Brandon Welch has managed to catch up to him, so I'm thinking Brandon's going to take this one if we get back to green.
Yeah, I'm sure Tanner was cursing his luck when that caution came out. He had done everything he needed to do to probably secure a win today. And now he has to do it all over again. But as we've seen, a lot of the time, the guy leading has got a good jump at the start, and that's going to be key.
Can they call this caution in early? I think now they can. Everybody's lined up. We're ready to go.
The lights are still on.
So far, they haven't shortened it. No, they will not be shortening it. At least I would hope they don't shorten it on the front stretch again. No. Caution will not be shortened, so we will not be going green this time by.
I think Andrew and Will hadn't caught the field, so maybe that played into it there. So one more lap under caution, I believe. And then we get our hopefully a good finish, but you just never know. Anyone could win from here. You just don't know what's going to happen.
Lights are out now, so it will be a restart with 2 to go here from the Indy 250 in the Apollo Racing Club IndyCar Series. Will it be Tanner Long? Will it be Brandon Welch? Will it be Frankie Franchica, the Spanish Minister of Defense? Or could Woody Mahan or Thornton Thomas get mixed up in all this as well? You never know. We'll see what happens.
You know, I have to change my prediction because of all the chaos that's happened in this race so far. But Brandon Welch, he was closing that gap by a little bit. So can he do it again? Can he actually get a good restart as well? Tanner Long was able to take off from Frankie Franchica on the last restart. So Brandon Welch is going to have to stick with him on the restart. He's going to have to be right there, basically putting the foot to the floor at the same time. But 2 laps to go. That is, when we go green, that is going to be a finish here. It's going to be spectacular. Keegan, it's time to go back to green.
Back to green with 2 laps remaining here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. If any of you remember the finish of this year's Indy 500, you remember how spectacular 2 shootout laps here can be. Tanner is going to have to defend hard on worse tires, but less fuel than Brandon Welch. Not going to have to worry about carrying that extra weight around. Tanner's going to have to pull something out of the bag here as Brendan has been super strong. Tanner has the field in his hands. Brandon right up in his gearbox. Tanner's going to wait. Green flag comes out and he reacts to it. Jumps out to a pretty decent lead here. 3/10 interval. That might not be enough to fend off Brandon Welch, though.
Here they come down through turns 1 and 2. Brandon Welch looking to get Skay in that slipstream as they come through turn number 2 now. But you can see Frankie Franchica, he is looking racy here. Here they come through
Caution
turns.
flag, that's the end of the race. It's going to be Tanner Long winning the Season 7 Indy 250 here in the Apollo Racing Club IndyCar Series.
Wow. It looks like it was Will. Let's see what happened. Andrew Serwick, Cody Barrett. Oh, it looks like Thornton
Andrew.
Thomas.
Ooh, Andrew spun it.
Yeah, Thornton Thomas, Andrew Serwick, and Will all involved in that. Tanner Long. He's going to take a race win this season. His first of his career.
And what a heck of a race to win as your first one.
Yeah,
They honestly-
definitely. Sorry, I was gonna say definitely a great race to win if it is his first one. He did a fantastic job. Strategy paid off for him. He took that gamble early, pitted under green, and basically got himself at the front at the end and managed to hold off the field. But I will say the final caution summed up the days of Will and Drew. It's just been an absolutely tragic race for both of them.
Yeah, indeed.
Definitely not one they'll be remembering.
Now here comes the 7th Indy 250 winner here at Apollo Racing Club. Tanner Long gets his first career victory and a good haul of points here tonight. What a good race from him. Brandon Welch, so close, but yet so far.
That was one heck of a shot to the finish. Tanner Long was able to get out ahead of everybody just enough, but Brandon Welch, considering that caution flag, just could not make up the ground. 3/10 was just enough for Tanner, I guess, considering we only had about 2 corners worth of racing.
I'm sure Brandon's disappointed he didn't get a proper shot at the win, especially considering how strong he's been throughout the race. But P2's a good haul for him in the points and helps him in the championship battle, especially with a lot of his rivals falling by the wayside today. So
Yeah,
I'm sure
Andrew Serwick and Brody Gardner, neither one having very good races. Gardner ending up 16th, Andrew Serwick in 13th. But there's your winner, everybody. Tanner Long. Burn it down, my man. You are the Indy 250 winner for Season 7. We'll be talking to you in just a minute here about what you thought about that race. But it's been an up and down day for a lot of these guys. You just saw our finishing positions here tonight, folks. It has been a fantastic night of racing here from Apollo Racing Club. Now, we're not done, though, so stick around for a few minutes. We'll be right back with some driver interviews. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. We are here with our winner tonight of the 7th seasonal Indianapolis 250 from Apollo Racing Club IndyCar Series. It is Tanner Long, another Indy 250, another new winner. Tanner, first win of the season, as well as your first win here at ARC. What a win to have as your first one. How are you feeling after that just race of attrition that we just witnessed?
Yeah, it feels good. I've had a lot of bad luck, and I feel like the strategy never cuts my way, but today it finally did. So I will definitely take that.
I mean, I would hope so. Did you have any idea when you pitted? I think you last pitted on lap 60, right?
Yeah, correct. I think it was like 65, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, if it was 65, you wouldn't have even had to save all that much. But yeah, but were you intending to go to the end on that one? Were you thinking we were going to have as long of stints as we ended up having?
Oh yeah, for sure. I knew when I came out of the pits, if I could stay on the lead lap, I could probably go to the end. It was going to be a stretch until we got those last two cautions, but those last two cautions solidified it. So I think I was fine either way, but good way to go out.
Second to last restart, you had like 4 car lengths over Frankie behind you. What were you thinking when that happened?
Yeah, when we were coming to the green, I saw him hanging back a ton. And so the moment the pace car went into the pit road, I was like, okay, I have to just gun it because then I can get a lead. And I think he might have had to save a little bit of gas too, because I was riding around in mode 5 just to make sure I was good and was still gapping him by quite a bit. So it all kind of just worked out perfectly there.
On that last restart, you also had, I believe it was Brandon Welch right behind you. And he had completely fresh tires. He didn't have to worry about anything. What was your defensive strategy for that?
Just run the bottom and give him all the dirty air I can. I figured I would be okay since we only had 2 laps to go. It was going to be really hard for him to get ahead of steam down any of the straights to pass me. So as long as I kept it smooth and didn't make a mistake, I figured that it was mine. And the caution just, helped me out a little bit more there.
Yeah. Well, Tanner, congratulations on your first Indy 250 win here at ARC, as well as your first ARC IndyCar Series win. Go celebrate, my man, and we will see you next week.
All right. See you guys later. Thanks.
See you later. Well, gents, that was one heck of a race.
That was an interesting race. Congratulations to Tanner Long. Very well-deserved victory. Brandon Welch comes close here. Again, just could not get the job done in the end. And now we move on to next week at Belle Isle.
Detroit Belle Isle is a very, very tough road course. Even our road course ringers are going to be tested on the very tight streets of Detroit. And I can't wait to see what happens for the next one. How about you, James?
Yeah, it's going to be a hell of a race at Belle Isle. It's another track that can bite you very quickly with walls everywhere. Congratulations again to Tanner today. He rolled the dice and it paid off, and he won big. So, what a race! What an evening of entertainment, gentlemen.
Feels like you could say that about a lot of the Indianapolis races out there. Roll the dice and it pays off. It definitely did for Tanner here tonight, folks. One more thing to say before we go. We didn't get around to our other sponsor tonight, and that is Grid Finder. Apollo Racing Club is a Grid Finder approved league. If you are looking for your next sim racing league, go to grid-finder.com. That is grid-finder.com. They have leagues registered on there for basically every single major sim out there, including console sims like the F1 games, Assetto Corsa Competizione, as well as other miscellaneous ones like Race Room and you know what? I'm having a mental fart right now. But of course, iRacing is the biggest one on there. And while you're on there, go check out the Apollo Racing Club page on there. We'd be glad to see you over there. That's once again grid-finder.com. Well, gents, I feel as though it's time to wrap this up and let those people who just witnessed that slugfest get about their nights. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, a lot of guys going to have to come back next week and just try and get some consistency going. So that's going to be the goal for probably next week, especially around such a tough circuit of Belle Isles. So that'll be next Thursday night. Of course, that will be at our normal start time at 9 Eastern.
You heard it from him, folks. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming out and watching the 7th iteration of the Indy 250. We will see you all next week from the beautiful, shining Detroit Belle Isle.